What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 25 realistic rebuild, following up yesterday's rebuild where we rebuilt the New York Jets after their blockbuster trade, bringing Davante Adams and reuniting him with head coach slash quarterback Aaron Rodgers. There was also another big-time trade that was made, and I think it makes a team that's not really one you'd think of that needs a rebuild a little bit more interesting. And that is the Buffalo Bills acquiring Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. The Buffalo Bills got Amari Cooper and a 6th-round pick in 2025. They gave up a 2025 3rd-round pick and a 7th-round pick in 2026. So essentially, it's a 3rd-round pick for Amari Cooper. And you look at Amari Cooper, he's an 88 superstar overall. Yeah, he's 30. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to say it's a lateral, but it's very similar to like recouping Stephon Diggs. You're getting a productive playmaker who I think Amari Cooper is, he's no longer a Dallas Cowboy, so I can kind of say nice things about him. He's very underrated. He is definitely going to, I honestly think Amari Cooper going to the Buffalo Bills moves the needle more than Davante Adams does going to the Jets. And that's not me necessarily saying that I don't think it's going to work with Davante in New York. I just think Amari Cooper and what the Buffalo Bills offense has been missing, he is more of that missing piece to take the Bills to the next level than I think it is Davante. I don't necessarily know if the Jets needed another freak wide receiver. I think they probably more so needed offensive line help would help. More consistency in the run game would help. But ultimately, we actually saw in the Madden sim, Davante Adams going to the Jets was ridiculous. We got 31 receiving touchdowns in a single season with Devontae Smith in the sim, and Aaron Rodgers going for 40, 50 touchdowns. So we know that the pace was kind of set over there by our divisional rival. Now it's time to take control of the Buffalo Bills, and we'll see if we can find similar success with Amari Cooper. Looking at the rest of the roster, James Cook has looked great this season. Looks explosive. Looks like kind of like a breakout candidate running back. You got Ray Davis, 74 with a dev trait. The offensive line is a work in progress for sure. The best lineman in Deion Dawkins. We're going for these realistic rebuilds. Minimum 5, at maximum 10 years to win a Super Bowl. And I don't know how many years Dawkins has left of his prime at 30 years old, but we'll probably run him into the ground. Outside of that, you got from Florida, Osiris Torrance. Maybe Brown could continue to develop there, but offensive line is a concern here for the Buffalo Bills. Tight end is not, as Dalton Kincaid has a very high ceiling. Dawson Knox, honestly, we are pretty much at the trade deadline. I think we see what kind of offers we might be able to get for Dawson Knox. I actually think another player that's very solid, but within the context of Madden, in the context of this roster construction, don't necessarily need Dawson Knox. Could totally use another weapon. Outside of Amari Cooper, you got Khalil Shakir, who's a great playmaker. Have him in both my fantasy leagues. Solid, reliable. You have Keon Coleman, who's a whole lot of upside. Their big pick. I don't know necessarily. Is he the big guy, though? Would you consider him to be like the top dog from their class? Rookie, 77, star dev already, but maybe a little bit slower. That's probably the reason why they were kind of put into a corner to make a trade for Amari Cooper, because Keon Coleman didn't necessarily, he's not popping off like Malik Neighbors or some of those other dogs, but there's definitely still a player in there. Big fan of Keon Coleman. Had a hell of a year last year at Florida State. So a lot of upside, and I think, looking at this as a 5-year rebuild, he likely will be our wide receiver 1 at some point. Taking a peek at the defense. Now, I'm always very biased. I love Sean McDermott's defense for the most part. He is the last of the Jim Johnson disciples, the great Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator. And honestly, Sean McDermott probably should have never left Philadelphia. But looking at the defensive line is real good. You got Von Miller, you got Epineza, you got Ed Oliver, who, I actually thought about it. Ndamukong Suh is the GOAT. Ndamukong Suh is the best defensive player I've ever seen in college football. But if I'm grading D tackles, I'm thinking Ndamukong Suh, Jalen Carter, Ed Oliver. Those are the 3 best college D tackles I've ever seen. He got himself a new contract. I think sky's the limit for Ed Oliver. You have the rookie Carter here out of Duke, I believe. And then you got Greg Russo. Greg Russo, hell of a success story. He was drafted out of Miami as a project pass rusher, and a little bit of a slow burn earlier on in his career. But you are seeing someone like Sean McDermott can and will develop players into Pro Bowl, fringe, all-pro talent. And that is exactly what we have here in Greg Rousseau at only 24 years old. I think he's a guy that, star dev trait. It's only a matter of time till he gets superstar and maybe even potentially an X factor. Just because we started the regular roster, there's no start today. Matt Milano is actually, is he done for the year or is he just on IR? Not 100% sure, but I mean, very injury prone. It's very unfortunate. You have Dorian Williams at a Tulane who's definitely stepped up. I believe he leads the team in tackles in real life right now. Terrell Bernard was one of my favorite players coming out of Baylor. Him and Jalen Petrie were absolute studs on that Baylor Bears defense a couple of years ago. So it's pretty awesome that he's developed into a great player. At safety, you got Rapp. You got Cole Bishop, the rookie, 77 star dev. Sky's the limit. I mean, another just position that we were trying to replenish. No more Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, which was an elite duo for years. Don't necessarily know if Taylor Rapp's going to be the long-term option, but I definitely think we have something in Cole Bishop. You got Teron Johnson, Rasul Douglas, another player, much like Sean McDermott, never should have left Philadelphia. Miss him all the time. Fan of the YouTube channel as well. He's an absolute beast. You got Benford. You got this Ingram guy who I think leads the team right now in picks in real life with 2. You got Kyrie Elam, who's not been great, but Florida Gator buys his side, much like Osiris Torrance. We're going to try to make him a thing as long as we possibly can. But I think it's a good defense. It's a good defensive scheme. Offensively, we didn't even talk about him yet, but with Amari Cooper, I think we are, 5 weeks in? He's probably the MVP favorite. Josh Allen, in real life, has yet to throw an interception. And just go look at my rants about who I think should have been the next head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles back when we hired Nick Sirianni. Everyone knows. If you follow that, you watch that side of my content. Joe Brady was my top guy. Philly actually talked to Joe Brady. We decided to go with Nick Sirianni. Obviously, it's a little bit of hindsight, potentially. But if Joe Brady has been able to rewire the brain of Josh Allen and to get him to stop playing and having those Carson Wentz-esque brain farts, which through very early part of the season looks like that could be the case, he's a freaking cheat code. And I hope he continues to be a cheat code for us because I've played a lot of Madden 25 franchise mode. And yes, the Buffalo Bills tend to be a solid team. They go on playoff runs. I've seen them win the Super Bowl every now and again. But they're not necessarily a juggernaut. They're definitely not in the same kind of way that the Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens are consistently in the sim. But you'd love to see now adding that big-time playmaker in Amari Cooper if we could truly go on and get a dub here, especially within the first 5 years. Let's get in and out with a Super Bowl because this is a very good team. Not a lot of rebuilding needs to be done. It's honestly all about maintaining, drafting well, and managing the salary cap. So we threw Dawson Knox up on the trade block. Got some interesting offers. Romeo Doubs probably represents maybe the best value at only 24 years old, but I don't think Green Bay is really in the market for a tight end. I always try to keep it somewhat realistic. I like this offer. Marvin Mims, 77, 22 years old with a dev trait. We have a crowded wide receiver room. It would be, wide receiver 4, but he does have upside, could potentially develop. Henley is probably the closest to a starter that we could get, because we got Milano, we got Bernard, but you could make the argument, especially Henley could start at one of those linebacker positions, so I think we are going to take this one, even though I think Marvin Mims might be the best offer. There's no real path for him to play for the next 2-3 seasons, because Khalil Shakir's there, established, would honestly like to see if we can, he's our slot, so I assume he's going to eat. Most slots do. And if we can get him out that normal dev, we continue with that development and progression. And obviously, Keon Coleman. Same with Amari Cooper. So we'll grab the linebacker here. So coming out of our bye week, we are 7-4. We currently have elite rankings across the board. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what the salary cap situation looks like. Amari Cooper's going to be one and done. Rasul Douglas. Oh, I thought we had a lot more salary cap than that. All right, hopefully we can work miracles before free agency starts in the offseason, because I would love to keep both these guys, especially, obviously, for the sake of this rebuild, Amari Cooper. I'll tell you right now, in this sim, I will be shocked if Josh Allen doesn't end up winning MVP. Week 11, Player of the Week. Week 12, now close. Hard to beat. 7 touchdowns by Mahomes. Week 13, Player of the Week. Week 14, Player of the Week. Stacking them. So the end of the regular season, the Buffalo Bills go 13-4. Number 1 defense in the NFL. Top 5 offense. We are the AFC East champs. However, still the 3 seed after the Ravens and the Chiefs. literally, when we just talked about the Bills, that's probably tracks. They are probably consistently, I'd say, with the Bengals, probably the Texans as well, fighting for that third best team in the AFC in the sim. But our rankings give us a lot of optimism that we're going to go far. Josh Allen making the list there for the top 3 passers in the league with the yardage, as we finish with 3rd in yards, 2nd in touchdowns for this absolute alien. 4,700 yards, 42 touchdowns, only 7 picks, 74% completion percentage. So Joe Brady has kind of got him to rein in the turnovers there a little bit, which has really been the only knock against Josh Allen. We also, got 550 yards on the ground and another 10 touchdowns. So Josh Allen, 52 tutties on the year, certainly is going to be making a case for NFL MVP. Disappointing numbers for James Cook. You know, we have him as our 3rd down. We do have Ray Davis as our power back, so you're kind of splitting there a little bit. But not too often, man. You don't see your starting running back get 1,000 yards. But when you throw the football as much as we did, kind of tracks. As Amari Cooper, who we have to get, heads could roll to make sure we can afford to re-sign this offseason. He goes 78 catches, 1,200 yards, and 11 touchdowns. We get 1,014 for Khalil Shakir, 872 and 6 for Keon Coleman. That's respectable for a rookie. 75 and 4 from Dalton Kincaid. Almost 5. You know what? Cook those are decent receiving numbers, all things considered. He goes over 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 14 touchdowns. So all in all, respectful season. I'm kind of excited to see that the running backs here in Buffalo actually get targets. Not always the case. Matt Milano led the team with 96 tackles. Look at the sacks. Von Miller turning back the clock. 16 TFLs, 16 sacks, 15 TFLs, 12.5 for Russo, 14 and 9.5 for Ed Oliver. And on the interception front, Rasul Douglas, who's right there with Amari Cooper, the guys that we really want to re-sign this offseason, leads the team with 6 picks. And of course, there's that guy. Our early award winner goes to Von Miller, who got D-Lineman of the Year. So the first round of the playoffs, we get the Indianapolis Colts, who are better than expected. Fringe top 5 offense and defense, coming in 6 and 6 for both of those respected. And somehow they have a better offense than us. That is surprising. Okay, weird vibes about this matchup. There's no other way to kind of break it out, but we're able to handle business as we get Terrell Bernard, 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception, doing a little bit of everything as the Buffalo Bills able to win in the wild card round over the Indianapolis Colts, and it wasn't even close. 45-13. Josh Allen played well with that. 3 interceptions forced on Anthony Richardson. 300 yards. Josh Allen, unstoppable. Khalil Shakir, unstoppable. Cooper and Keon Coleman getting after it. As we saw player of the week performance out of Terrell Bernard. Rousseau and Ed Oliver also getting sacks. Bernard, Rapp, and Benford on the picks. And it's, a great time to answer the question. Is Amari Cooper the missing piece for the Buffalo Bills to finally get past the Kansas City Chiefs in a battle of clearly the top 2 MVP candidates, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen? Will show respect to auto-upgrade our players to make sure we put them in the best place, the best position to give us a chance on the road at Arrowhead. It does not get any tougher than this in the Madden 25 sim. They are the cheat code! No more! I'd love to see Amari Cooper go off. Ugly, low scoring, couldn't be any more different than the other matchup there. But 17-14, the Bills are in the AFC Championship game. No help to Josh Allen. He did not play, neither quarterback played particularly well. He still got on the score sheet. We ran the football decently, but it was the battle of the 2 defenses. And I love our defense, man. The way that we played. Sack and a half, Ed Oliver. Sack for Smoot. Russo gets on the board. Mike Edwards, the backup safety, with a turnover. And we got to relish that, Bills Mafia. Finally getting a dub. And we're going to be the favorites in the AFC Championship. Look at the other side. That would be an absolute bloodbath between the Eagles and the 49ers in Philly. But we are the home team against the Cincinnati Bengals, who I imagine they are rolling offensively. We should win. Honestly, they have a good passing offense, top 10. Overall offense, pretty much top 10. Everything else, middle of the mall. And of course, we will always, in a matchup like this, make sure our players are playing their best. And Josh Allen right now is playing like a 99 overall. Officially, he's a 96. We just got a little bit more awareness, so hopefully he plays better than he did against Kansas City. Well, as we saw against Kansas City, we can win ugly. We can win with a run game and defense. And as we saw all season long, we can also air that thing out and let Josh Allen play like an unstoppable robot quarterback. So with the Super Bowl on the line, Bengals, yes! 34-31. It is a Bills return. I imagine this was a matchup when the Bills went to whatever it was, 3 or 4 straight. I know it was the Cowboys. Was the Niners one of them? Like, is this a rematch from one of those 90s Super Bowls? But it's an overtime win. Very slow start. We get 21 points in the fourth. Field goal in overtime, 34-31. Josh Allen, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Also had another yard on the ground. Khalil Shakir had a hell of a game. Amari Cooper, that is why you go out and get the kid right there. And I can say kid because I'm a year older than him. 7 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown for Amari Cooper. We got Von Miller. He's that guy that knows how to play big in playoff matchups. 2.5 sacks for him. And the Buffalo Bills, year 1 after making the trade for Amari Cooper, are in the Super Bowl. Maybe that's not the most exciting. Maybe there's not the most drama for us to finally get this team over the hump. But there are 32 realistic rebuilds that we plan on doing. We've already had a couple lumps, couple L's. Anytime you can get up with a check mark. Get that Super Bowl, play with house money, try to turn it into a dynasty, try to win a couple. But getting that first one at any point, I will never take for granted as early as we can get that one across the line. So let's auto-upgrade our players. Let's look at the tail of the tape between us and the 49ers. What do the Niners do well? Where might we have the advantage? As we've seen, a good balance throughout this playoff run for the Bills. Offense, defense, we're winning through all phases. You look at the 49ers, top 10 offense, top 5 passing, top 5 defense overall, but no one is really going to match up rankings-wise to the Bills. This is our S tier across the board, offense and defense. I will say, because it is year 1, we're not going to go in with the opportunity to hop in 3 times. Let's just straight up sim. If it happens, it happens. And man, I hope it happens, because this is essentially a Bills rebuild because they got Amari Cooper. And there's a chance I can't re-sign him, and it's a 1-year rental. So if we can at least win that 1 Super Bowl while he's here, we'll do so with a smile on our face. Okay, through the power of Google, Bills actually didn't lose to the Niners. They lost to the Giants, Washington football team, and Dallas twice. I don't know why I would have thought the Niners were in there. Well, let's go. Not going to hop in. If we win, we win. If we don't win, we got plenty of time to get back here. Just maybe not with Amari Cooper. So they're trading touchdowns, trading blows. Love to not give up a touchdown with 40 seconds to go. Going into halftime, but that's kind of usually what tends to happen. 14-14, everything to play for here in the second half. A scoreless third quarter, but we are rolling. Not really. Just ugly. And we've been able to win ugly. 2 minutes to go. Ball in Josh Allen's hands to go win this thing. And it's looking pretty good. Touchdown. Game's on the line. 1:03 to go. Can the defense step up? This is where you get Von Miller to come through with an outrageous sack. And look, it's 4th down. Year 1 Super Bowl. Don't click off. I'm going to try to make this a dynasty. Trust me. We'll make this intro. We haven't even got the realistic draft class yet to try to figure out what rookie from college football is going to help us win a couple Super Bowls here. The pace has been set now. The only thing that's been confirmed is that it's only going to be 5 years, which now gives us a window. That takes the stress off. That lets me be a little bit more aggressive, because if things don't go well, we're doing like a truly difficult rebuild and not more so a topical one like we're doing here. If we get to year 5, year 4, year 5, and we're not winning that Super Bowl, decisions need to be made. I won't be able to go all willy-nilly and spending our salary cap, because if it goes 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, I got to think about those future years. I can't just operate with an end date in sight, because we don't know. Now we know that we have 4 more years to try and win another Super Bowl here with the Buffalo Bills. And honestly, Josh Allen, probably not the best performance. He knows he wants to come back and get himself a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, maybe he got it with the rushing yards. Let's see. MVP. He does have 2 rushing touchdowns. Keon Coleman. All right, pretty good. Oh, it's going on the defense for sure. Look at that. Von Miller, 2.5 sacks. 3 for Greg Russo. Pick your it's one of those 2 that's getting it. So, yeah, we want to get back and get Josh Allen, the Super Bowl MVP. But at least now, And I still will be very aggressive to try to figure out how we can make roster moves to re-sign Amari Cooper for at least one more contract. We're playing with house money for the rest of this rebuild. We're going to get very aggressive. I want to win at least one more over the next 4 years. We got Von Miller going out on top. Had a hell of a Super Bowl. And you know what? Maybe this probably helps our salary cap trend in the right direction to being able to re-sign Amari Cooper as Von was getting paid. As dev traits are concerned on the offense, I don't know how Khalil here did not go up a dev trait. That's an absolute robbery, travesty. Ray Davis with hidden dev, he is star. No other dev traits up or down on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe good that Amari Cooper didn't regress because he's getting up there in age. Both Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau go from star up to a superstar dev. Same with Rasul Douglas, who we have got to figure out a way to get him re-signed. Henley, who we made the trade with for Dawson Knox. He was only normal. He went up a dev trait, so that is very, very nice. He's going to be able to go at right outside linebacker. And Cole Bishop, the last of our rookie class with hidden devs, is a star. All right, we got 38 mil. So that helps. We'll get Amari Cooper on a 3-year. And we'll give Rasul Douglas 222. Let's go. 11 mil remaining. Really don't want to pick up the 5th-year option for Kyrie. That's a lot. 15 million bucks. And looking at everybody else, you know what? Just for the good vibes, keep things going here. Let's go. But for us to go and rebuild on a repeat, we're going to have to do that in the draft as we have under $10 million of available salary cap, and it's not a particularly good role either for available free agents. So going to the draft, here's our lineup. I focus scouted interior linemen, so that is either, ideally a center or a guard. That's where we likely would like to improve on the offensive side. On the defensive side, there is a drop-off, clearly, from Von Miller to Epineza, even though Epineza, I think, is second in real life on the Bills in sacks right now. And there's definitely a player there, and he got himself a new contract. But I think pass rush could add more depth at D-tackle as well. And I think long-term at strong safety, Taylor Rapp, kind of a Band-Aid, already showing signs of regression. So I'm going to say probably biggest needs, because where we're picking, obviously at 32, probably not going to be much of edge rush market. Safety and or interior lineman is going to be the direction we try to go. All right, so sitting and waiting all the way to pick 32, which is always a good issue to have. I'm looking at who went. Oh, my God. Well, I know where we're going. There is a very good safety that is shockingly still on the board. Oh, he's never mind. No, I thought Malachi Starks was still going to be there. Damn. All right, well, we got Malachi Moore. Oh. Ratledge. We got Parr. Okay, so we got 3 guards. Let's see if we can decipher. B pass block, D run block on Logan Parr. Not great bench press. No, thank you. We have Clay Webb. This would be a reach, but he might not be available. He has B pass block and decent numbers there. And Ratledge, double B, 6'6". Gigantic human being. Great numbers on the bench press. Let's do it. Might be an ugly pick. We won the Super Bowl year 1. We can survive potentially an ugly pick. 33. True value at 32. It's just, do we get the dev trait? Damn. Now, I know this is a custom draft class. I don't know any of the ratings yet. But at this spot, I'm almost just, let's draft as if we did know these were real players. We have Shamar Turner, who I think was a 5-star coming out of high school. But a D-tackle, which is a need for us to add depth. A finesse move, C power, B block shed. Also has elite strength and agility. Kind of checks out for a guy that we would draft if it wasn't a real player. Ooh. Dev trait. All right, cool. Good pick. We're going to do the same kind of thing here for safeties. We are looking and scraping at the bottom of the barrel here. But Mukuba, formerly at Clemson, now at Texas. B-man coverage, B-tackle, elite speed. All right. Kind of just checking the boxes of guys, and he's 65 in True Value. Getting him at 105. No dev trait, but that's a big-time athlete. Could be a future starter. Staying with top picks, this is really the last even eyebrow-raising selection on my board, and that is Ajani Cornelius. B pass block, B awareness, A impact, C run block. The combine also looks real good first. in a lot of areas that you want your guy to be first in. 159 true value at 128. It's actually surprising. Should be a 70-plus player if I had to guess based off the ratings. Looking at our draft recap. Oh, no. Okay, a little bit of a whiff. I drafted Calzada as a backup. I believe he used to be a Texas A&M. He had elite throw power. That was kind of the reason why. And that was very much a swing and a miss. We got Antoine Wells Jr., 68. We got a 6'7" punter from Montana State. Brandon Hall was a 70. 71 on Keontae Scott. Cornelius, 68, which is definitely low. I thought he'd be 70-plus. Lukuba is 72 normal. Shamar Turner, 68, which is not the greatest rating, but he does pull the dev trait, so he is a high ceiling option. Then Ratledge, only a 74 normal, which I suppose in the context of, like, if you're looking at what most 32 overall picks end up being, the upcoming Madden as rookie ratings, 74 normal is pretty much on par. Now we're into year 2, week 8, undefeated, 7-0, and the rankings are maybe not so much. Want to know how the sausage is made on the defense. Points is all that matters. Don't look at the yardage. Offense, humming on all cylinders. We're coming off a 38-24 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, where Josh Allen, let's see, how many players of the week does he have? 2, I think? Only 1? Okay. Humbling from where we were a year ago, where he won it probably 7 times. And there's still a chance for him to get hot. But the most important thing is undefeated. Now, $57 million of cap, and there's a lot of players who want to re-sign. We got to start at the top. We have Greg Rousseau. We have 3 years left of this rebuild, so let's just lock him in. $30 million remaining. We got James Cook, Elam, Khalil Shakir, Benford, Bernard, Epineza, Ingram. I think Benford, no dev trait, definitely stings a little bit, but 2480 corner, those don't grow on trees. Shakir's played with just the no dev trait kind of scares me a little bit with Khalil Shakir. Looking for 32, we got Bernard. Like, will either of these guys take the neutral offer? No, huh? I think let's wait and see. And obviously, with our tight salary cap situation and the fact that we got Ray Davis with a depth trait, even though James Cook, awesome player, very similar to how we had to handle the Jets rebuild, where we had Breece Hall, who had a ceiling of like a 99 superstar, just can't afford to pay him. Have someone else in the pipeline like we had in the Jets with Braylon Allen. Very similar situation here with the Bills. And year 2, very similar to year 1, even better, honestly. Offense and defense played very well. We go 15-2 with one of those 2 losses being somehow an ugly loss to the bottom-dwelling Patriots. We'll just put that in storyline as we rested our starters. Looking at the numbers here, I don't think as crazy and nuclear of a season from Josh Allen, but still really damn good. 40 bomb through the air, 44, we're then up to 4,500 yards. He's also our leading rusher. This is why we're not paying James Cook. Good player, almost a 90 overall running back, coming off a rookie contract. You almost always pay that. Not here. Josh Allen is our running back. He is the offense. As far as receiving is concerned, Keon Coleman, 105 catches, 1,300 yards. Can you guess which receiver played in the slot this year, huh? But Amari Cooper, just shy of 1,000, 10 touchdowns, still a really good season for him. We're going to need Kincaid to step up, especially because it looks like we're going to be unlikely to re-sign Khalil Shakir. On the defense, Matt Milano over 100 tackles with 5 interceptions. We've got 16.5 sacks from Russo, 9.5 from Ed Oliver, 13 TFLs, 3 sacks from our hidden dev rookie Shamar Turner. Not much else of a pass rush, which kind of sucks. Interception numbers are solid. Rookie Andrew Makuba, who got the start at strong safety, gets 3 picks on the year. But the hidden dev on Shamar Turner, just curious what that is. Spender upgrades here. He's going to end the season very close to a 72 overall. Working on a scheme fit. Superstar. Give me something good. Ooh, just a star as expected. And close but no cigar. Josh Allen once again runner-up for MVP. Gotta imagine Coach of the Year is Sean McDermott, which it is. The first round of the playoffs. We had no award winners, which was surprising to be a 15-2 team, but Again, it's all about winning. That matters. We get the Jacksonville Jaguars as we look to defend our Super Bowl crown. 1 win, and we're back in the AFC Championship game. And we pull a Dallas Cowboy 1 seed, and we lose, and it's not even close. What? Ugh. Josh Allen does not play well. We've had no run game, which has definitely been an issue all year. Amari Cooper had a hell of a performance. Probably gets to the game ball. Defensively, got a couple sacks. Huh. Damn. Even though the postseason didn't go the way we want, there's still some kind of good news. Amari Cooper regressed, but look at Keon Coleman standing out, getting the mentorship vibes from Amari Cooper. And he is, at 23 years old now, an 88 superstar. And on the defensive side, Ed Oliver is the big gainer, going up to a superstar factor, unfortunately losing the superstar dev on Rasul Douglas, likely due to age regression. So with our current budget, I just don't think it's worth paying James Cook. We will pick up the 5th-year option on Kincaid for 11 mil. I'd hate to lose both Bernard and Shakir. What if we can go 6 and 6? 3-year, 36 mil. Oh. Right there, buddy. Boom. Boom. And maybe this one too. Boom. And just looking at free agency, notable losses. James Cook, who we let walk, is the top running back. Khalil Shakir, who we let walk, is the top wide receiver, which is annoying. Terrell Bernard, who's also the top linebacker. Oh my God. The fact of the matter is, we need edge rush help. We need someone that can play on the other side of Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau. And I don't envision us picking in any good spots to draft one. So I'm at least got to throw my hat in the ring. We got 3 years left. 3 years left of Owe's prime, hypothetically, going to his 30. We'll swing for the fences. Wow. All needs to be said. All right, it's draft time, and I don't want to say really, but there's a clear-cut pick based off our scouting, and our scouting was done under the impression that we would re-sign Khalil Shakir, and we'd be looking and sitting pretty. So look at the wide receivers. The only guy that stood out to me is Marion Walton, and that's because he has A-catching. It's all about unique traits. A-catching, legit athlete. Marion Walton, 6'2" out of Mizzou, could walk in and be our wide receiver 3. Now, I said we focus scouted tackles because I thought Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, given our limited salary cap spot, we're going to need a successor there. We're not going to be able to afford both. Plus, in Deion Dawkins' case, he's getting old. Look what we got here in Khalil Benton. Scouting the tackles, top 5 true talent tackle that we knew was still going to be there. All A's, elite strength. These simply do not exist at this range. He's BPA. He's number 1. Thanks. Hey, look at how I scouted this one, guys. How I made this diamond in the rough. He was A everything in elite strength. And he's shockingly good. Available at the ass end of the first round, was projected to go. If I didn't pick him, he's probably going in the second round. Not a perfect roll here in the second round, but we have Gary Petrowski, B deep route running, and he ran 4.2. No elites. I gas up these picks when I think they're going to be studs. I think this one here might be like a normal dev. But best player available on our board for what we needed. Yeah. Damn. So overall, looking at our class, pretty good, man. Top heavy, but still pretty good. Anytime you get the number 1 true talent player at pick 28, who's a 78 hidden dev, you feel pretty good about it. Rest of the picks, all normals. You get a 73 running back in the 3rd round, but ultimately, very top heavy class. Okay, not a lot of momentum then last season. Gained a little bit with the stud in the draft. To start year 3, 4-4. And the rankings are Not great. Now, did lose a lot. Lost some of the best available players to free agency that were in free agency. So maybe it is realistic to expect regression this year. And it's all about how we finish, all about making that playoff push. We got $71 million of salary cap, which is good. Been a minute since we've been able to, kind of work with funds like that. I think we'll get Rasul Douglas on a 1 year. Pretty much just we'll keep it at that pace. We got Matt Milano. I mean, if we'll take 2, it's interesting. Edge rush pricers, it's just what it is. Henley's developed nicely for us in that trade, sending Dawson Knox to the Chargers. So we'll see if we can get him on a 3-year, $30 million, which we do. And then it rounds up with the Florida Gator, Osiris Torrance. And we should be able to get this one over the line. We'll go 3-year, 42. Probably could get it with 43, and we'll tug at my Gator bias heartstrings, and we'll pay him that next week. Holy shit, they won. We won 9 in a row. It's the defense that stepped up offensively. Still a little concerned. Josh Allen only had 30 touchdowns on the year, and he's getting a little older. My concern is, I mean, we got that Super Bowl, so my concern is limited, but it's certainly get up there. And look, at James Cook went to Tennessee, lost him in free agency, top 3 running back in the league. So it's, we're winning, but not winning in style or with style. And I feel like we have the talent to do that. Very disappointing season there from Josh Allen, but you throw in the rushing yards with it. We're talking about 4,600 yards, 36 touchdowns. That's a good year. Not great, but good. Amari Cooper goes over 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns. 9-7 for Keon Coleman, 8-3 for Curtis Samuel. I mean, definitely wanted Dalton Kincaid to step up and take out some of that Khalil Shakir production. And Keon Coleman dropping below 1,000 is, I'm pretty sure we put Amari Cooper in the slot. So that's probably why. Defensively, Henley got himself a new contract extension, 108 tackles, 7 TFLs, 3 picks. We got 18 sacks from Rousseau, 11 from Turner, 11 from Javon Solomon. He's popping off, one of the most productive pass rushers in the history of college football. Go look at his production at Troy. This guy's TFLs and sack numbers were off the charts. And we gave him, more so because the draft board did not really yield us a pass rusher at any point. He had to start hell of a year. And then Oliver crushed it. Interception numbers are decent. 4 for Milano, 4 for Tron Johnson, 4 for Makuba, 3 for Henley. So all in all, I mean, the defense was outstanding. Just what the hell is going on with Josh Allen? And no yearly award winners for the Bills. Back-to-back seasons, we've been on paper one of the best teams in the league, but not a lot of individual standouts. Here we go. We got the Jets. Divisional opponent at home in the first round of the playoffs last year. Very disappointingly, crashed and burned. This year, we at least get a dub. Josh Allen, Offensive Player of the Week. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Very fitting. Genty finds his way to the Dallas Cowboys. We did that rebuild last week. Go check that one out. Even though it's obviously hard for me to sell you guys on going to watch a Dallas Cowboy rebuild. But we handle the Jets in the first round, and then we get the cheat code Chiefs in the second round. So we'll upgrade Shamar Turner, who's coming off a breakout double-digit sack season. And we'll see if we have enough juice to get past the Chiefs for a second time. We got past them in year 1. That's when our team was 2-0 against the Chiefs. Josh Allen, Henley putting up big-time performances, and that's what it takes. It takes everybody. And we got the AFC Championship game here against the 11-6 Tennessee Titans, who are, they got James Cook. Rivalry. He's going to be motivated. Their defense, very good. So you know what? We'll also, much like last week, give them the respect that they deserve in this matchup. And we'll auto-spend Tate Ratledge on the offensive line, getting a little bit better. And we're going to need him too because the Titans have a very good defense. Super Bowl on the line. A chance at our second Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. Us and the Titans. And I don't know. We have a Player of the Week. I'm going to assume Josh Allen gets Player of the Week, 3 touchdowns. We moved on. And yes, back in the Super Bowl against the 7-seed Lions. 24-21 Buffalo. Clean performance, forced 2 turnovers. I mean, hey, Will Levis, huh? They're still trying to make that a thing. Amari Cooper with a 60-some yards and a touchdown. We had a second half. Rousseau, 2 picks from Rasul Douglas and Dayon Henley. And just like that, the Cinderella run where we handle business against the Chiefs. You beat the Chiefs, you earn the right to go to a Super Bowl. And our chance at Super Bowl number 2 will come at crushing the hopes and dreams of every Detroit Lion fan who suffered for 30 freaking years. The Lions, 10-7. Offensively, defensively, solid. Nothing spectacular, even though we know they have spectacular players. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch. They got dogs. But we got pedigree. We have a super quarterback. They do not. Let's go get that second Super Bowl. All right, let's go. 2 of the most desperate fan bases for a Super Bowl. Luckily, we're able to achieve that for Buffalo earlier in the rebuild, but sentiment still remains the same. You want to win as many as you can. When you've been to 4 and got 0, you want to be to 2 and win 2 with this new era. And it is looking like a low score. I mean, our first Super Bowl win was low scoring, and we got on with the back of our defense, and they let us, like a backpack, carried us to a Super Bowl, and it looks like that's going to be the case here. Would have loved a touchdown there, but a go-ahead field goal, 10-7, minute 53, and our strength is on the field right now. Our defense, Greg Rousseau, Rasul Douglas, Matt Milano. Come on. Come in. We already got the Super Bowl, so I have no issue trying to get this one over the line. Clock's rolling, no timeouts. Give me Rousseau. Or give me Death. Going up against Sewell. Swats him out of the way. Ball is in the air. And Jared Goff sends that into Rosie. They're going to have one more chance. 4 seconds remain. In field goal range. He's probably going to let this guy go to overtime. Or he's going to shank it. Oh. So wide left. You can make that joke. It's been 20-some years, Bills fans. And the Buffalo Bills get their second Super Bowl. And there's an odd karma to it because it is off the Detroit Lions shanking a field goal. Nice. So we got 2 Super Bowl wins. That ties our realistic rebuild record. We've got 2 before. I think, actually. This theoretically it wouldn't be that. It's actually happened. This possibly, because my memory sucks, could be the most successful realistic rebuild we've had. And again, not shocking. Buffalo Bills don't need a rebuild. They are a team that, with the addition of Amari Cooper, should very well have a great opportunity to actually achieve what we just did in real life this year. And for however many years they keep Amari Cooper in the building with Josh Allen. But that is 2 Super Bowls. We still got 2 years left of this rebuild to complete the dynasty. I think it's reasonable to say 3 Super Bowls is a dynasty. But this was another game, much like our first Super Bowl, where Josh Allen did not win MVP, did not look amazing. It was all on the defense. Same story here. Josh Allen did have the rushing touchdown. Keon Coleman, 53 yards. On the defense, though, you look at it, very legitimate claim that Greg Rousseau won Super Bowl MVP the first Super Bowl. Very legitimate claim that Greg Rousseau is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, learning from his mentor, Von Miller. And looking at our team, I think the big surprise, maybe not so much that the man that we got is the number 1 overall player, pick 28, is a superstar dev, but more so Josh Allen does not regress. I mean, again, 36 touchdowns or whatever it was. Maybe that would have been viewed as harsh, but I thought there's a legitimate shot he would not be an X Factor. But he keeps his X Factor. Keon Coleman keeps his superstar, even though Amari Cooper was our wide receiver 1 this year. On the defensive side of the ball, Rousseau up to an X Factor. How did Javon Saw? How do you not double-digit sacks if you are a normal dev? Should automatically almost always be a dev trade increase. Matt Milano regresses from X Factor down to a star. That is harsh. Makuba goes from normal up to a star. But man, that is what? It was good. Oh, brutal. So look at the state of our roster. What we need. We need a center. We need a wide receiver 3 that could potentially develop into a wide receiver 2 as Amari Cooper has been regressing pretty hard. So wide receiver, center, and then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, pass rusher if one comes available, but you just can't focus solely on the rating and depth trait. We got double-digit sacks to Solomon. It's fine. I don't need to, like, you know, if we find somebody in the draft, trade a bunch of picks to get an edge rusher. If one falls to us, so be it. If one requires a realistic, modest trade up to go get, sure. Or there's a dog in free agency, sure. But I would not say it's 100% a pressing need. You can almost make the argument getting a younger corner with the way that Rasul Douglas is regressing could be more of a bigger priority. So I would say, you know, maybe BPA on the defensive sense, but ultimately center wide receiver. That's where we want to go. I call my bluff because Zay Flowers is there. He would very much be what the doctor ordered. Except $23 million per year is certainly not within our budget. Quentin Johnson, now, you know what? $7 million a year could be. That could work. We'll go 217. Just see where that goes. Maybe, maybe not. At center, what do we got? There's not much there, so we'll have to look towards the draft. On the defensive side, we said pass rush. We got Tank Lawrence kind of as a rental. You got Leonard Williams as a rental. What do we got on the outside? Azeez Ojulari. Right side. I mean, you could go Nolan Smith, I suppose. But I mean, Solomon's fine. Even though Smith, freak athlete, and maybe in the same type of role, there could be more upside. We only got 2 years left, so it'd have to be we'll stay with where we're at there. And we said corner, because Rasul Douglas is not getting any younger. And there's just... I think we go to the draft. Not a great free agency period, but we will see if we can grab a wideout here. In Quentin Johnson, former bust. But that's all being said that he looks pretty decent for the Chargers this year under Harbaugh. So he's playing some good football. 25-81 overall with the depth trade at 6'4", gives us a little bit of that Gabe Davis. Now, to be honest with you, this is maybe the worst remaining first-round situation I've been in quite some time, especially for, like, position needs. Corner, like, there is nothing. You want to look for an A-man, B-man with a good zone. Like, the only B is F zone and Jose Silver. Pass rush, there is nothing at the linebacker spots. And we get a little bit here at D, and I was like, all right, B power move. A block shed, cool. And then you look at the size, 317, 311 pounds. Was 300 pounds there. So like, there's just no scheme fits. Which is very, very annoying. You do got down here, I will say, right, this guy looks interesting. 248 with a power move. We'll revisit that. Could be a gem. But I think we need to look at just someone that can play center. Best interior lineman that could possibly play center. And we got a couple A's. You always want to look for A's, standout grades. Ed Sexton, play anywhere on the line. A pass block. And you look at the combine. Could be better, could be worse. Look at straight up centers. Didn't really get the role. The best of the bunch was Jalen Sullivan, because he has B pass block. And even then, the combine, not great. So not a good year for interior linemen. Then we got two guys here on the other side. And I have to say, when you look at Little, A pass block, A awareness. Also a little bit undersized, which makes the believability of him being like a center a little bit more. But again, the value. We're here in the first round. So you do have a first rounder still on the board in LaMarcus Arrington. A impact block. And you figure if that is... He's the most athletic. If that's a B... You know, we'll go here. He'll be our center. But it's a blind pick, essentially, kind of making the tiebreaker. He's the better-looking combine. And usually guys that are projected to go in the first round that are linemen aren't bust. It does happen. Tends to be a tackle. So he's 25 in true value at 32. And we get the dev trait for our new starting center. So the board's so bad, I'll just come back to Clements. We need potentially, rotational help there at pass rush. We'll go with the A power move. See if that blind pick comes back. And actually not bad, man. That's supposed to be a day 3 pick. 76 in true value at 64. And there's a dev trait. Let's go. All right, so look at that. Our draft recap. We got in the 5th round, 73 normal dev, Fasano speedster at LSU's. 3rd round, 72 corner, Trey Drayton. We have Clemens and LaMarcus Arrington in the first. Now, Arrington, I want to move into center. Why is this dev trait unveiled? It's weird. Maybe we got like the dev trait ability from our coaching tree. We plan on moving him to center, which, all right. Rating shifts a little bit, but it is what it is. And then we get Denzel Clemens, who we drafted solely the fact that he had a power move, and I always what? X Factor? Why is it showing their dev trait? Like, usually it only shows a dev trait like that, and like removes the hidden dev icon and the amount of reps you need to get to unveil it if you like edit the class or you edit the player. So like if I went in and Clemson was a star dev and I was like, oh, let's make him X Factor for the video, this is what would happen. But why? I did not. Why is this happening? Is everyone else like that? Got Pat Beckham here. Star dev. What the fuck? There was a Madden title update a couple days ago. Did they break the hidden dev system? It's like everyone's dev trait is unveiled as soon as the draft. Is that a design choice? Was that something that was in the patch notes? That kind of defeats the whole purpose. Like the fog of war of... Huh. Classic EA, I guess. Well, hey, I'll take an X Factor in the second round. Let's go! Here's a look at our roster as we start year 4. Looking to defend our Super Bowl crown in chase of the hat trick of the true dynasty of winning 3. Offensively, we got Quentin Johnson to the wide receiver. And what I am going to do, though, is put Keon Coleman back in the slot because that's where he thrived 2 years ago. And I think that may be the little kick in the butt to get Josh Allen back playing like an MVP. Benton, 85 superstar, last year's first-round pick. I mean, just really puts the O-line here together. Very strong offensive line. Would love to see Kincaid, who's probably been the biggest disappointment of this rebuild, outside of the fact that our running back numbers have been pretty garbage regardless of who's in that backfield. Defensively, through the great bug of Madden that spoiled the excitement of finding out naturally that we drafted an X-Factor pass rusher in the second round, that D-line is scary. This D-line had pretty much everyone getting double-digit sacks last year, and I expect that to continue. Linebacker core is solid. Safety room is solid. Corner room is solid. And this team is primed to do better than last year's 13-4. I want back to, year 2, we went 15-2. Can we go undefeated? But ultimately, big goal is getting that 3rd Super Bowl, and we have a very good opportunity of getting back there to do so here in year 4. And at midseason, 5-1, and everything is kind of right with the world. Number 1 offense, top 5-ish defense. We're coming off a win off our bye, divisional win over the Miami Dolphins. 31-10, where we get a Player of the Week performance from who else? Both Josh Allen and Greg Rousseau, who have respectively been our best player offensively and defensively in this rebuild. Look at the contracts. These are 4 guys that want to run the full 5. 121 mil. Let's get it started. Keon Coleman, done. Ed Oliver, X Factor, been playing very well. Some of his best football of his career, aging like a fine wine. Cole Bishop has developed very nicely, even though statistically hasn't really popped off. We got Dalton Kincaid, much like Bishop. Statistically hasn't really popped off, but the talent is there. Don't want to let him walk. We are just never paying a running back. That's just point blank, period. I mean, he's the reason why we're doing the rebuilds. We might as well keep Amari Cooper here for the full 5. $34 million remaining. And just looking at what we are losing, we got Deion Dawkins at tackle. Get him back on a 1-year, possible 18.5 is expensive. So I think that's the last little bit of money that we're going to throw. So that means we're going to need a new starting running back, a new starting corner 1, a new starting corner 2. And actually, you know what? Screw it. Oh, come on. There we go, 14-3. We improve upon last season's record. We win the AFC East for the 4th straight time, and we are the 1 seed in the NFC with a top 5 offense, top 5 defense. And I guess Bryce Young is really freaking good. Wow. Looking at Josh Allen. Hell yeah. Top 5 in yards, most touchdowns. And maybe the secret sauce was just moving Keon Coleman back to the slot. I mean, we saw in the Jets rebuild, things were different with Devontae Adams in the slot. And maybe, just maybe, when we see some numbers here, that could be just about 45 touchdowns for Josh Allen. Got decent numbers on Ray Davis. Those are the best running back numbers we had. Another 500 yards for Josh Allen. Yeah, there you go. Keon Coleman, 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns. What a stat. 1,000 for Quentin Johnson, 1,009 touchdowns for Amari Cooper. Kincaid with respectable numbers. That is what we want to see, the offense. Where was that last year? Henley with over 100 tackles, 7 TFLs, 5 interceptions. We got 21 sacks from two-time Super Bowl MVP Greg Rousseau. He wants Defensive Player of the Year. We got 10.5 from Oliver, 7.5 from Turner. Wow. Not great from our X Factor. What happened there? Did he just not play? It's our starting end. What? I mean, he doesn't have to get Rookie of the Year, but he might lose that dev trade. What did he do? Where's Clements? Look right there. 6. Somehow did not start. What? Look at this. Oh, let's get to the bottom of this right now. I didn't auto set my depth chart after I did my tinkering. The only thing I can think of is that he's not in the sub pass rusher. But there's no way my starting D end, we've just run the subset that much this season. Like we just didn't run base. Starter in base. Oh, come on. What? Well, Josh Allen at least gets his MVP award, finally beating out Patrick Mahomes. Greg Rousseau wins Defensive Player of the Year. Josh Allen, Quarterback of the Year. Keon Coleman, Wide Receiver of the Year. Greg Rousseau, D-Lineman of the Year. Hey, why not get Kicker of the Year for a not necessarily universally loved kicker in Buffalo right now, but Tyler Bass puts it all together year 4. The first round of the playoffs, we got the 9-8 Browns. Winnable matchup. They have the #1 defense in the NFL, led by Myles Garrett. And they got J.O.K. at linebacker, but nothing else about them should scare us. And we know a thing about playing good defense, so our good defense should trump their average offense, which it does exactly as we start the playoff run with a 6-touchdown performance from Josh Allen. 5 through the air, 1 on the ground, as he is a beast. Absolute beast. And that has put us back in the AFC Championship game. 3rd time in 3 years. 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. 4 seasons. Which is still pretty damn impressive. 10-7 Raiders. Same kind of defense. They run the football well, but they're a very good defense. Not a particularly good offense. I'll show a little respect here. I'll tip my hat and say, all right, I'll spend my upgrades to make sure that 2 of our starters are ready to play the best football of their career in a game that should be which offense can play better. And we have a quarterback that's coming off a 6-touchdown performance. Usually when you get a player of the week, that means you move on. And when you get 2, we got 6 again. 12 touchdowns in 2 games. We got 2 picks from the veteran Benford. And it looks like we are going to another Super Bowl. This time, the Saints defeat the Panthers in a divisional rivalry in the NFC Championship game. And Buffalo is staring down an opportunity at their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. Looking at the New Orleans Saints, they got Quinn Ewers at quarterback. And they have the #1 offense in the NFL, almost a top 5 passing offense, top 5 rushing defense. But they don't run the football. They don't really have a great overall defense. I think we know who the overwhelming favorite is in this matchup. So Josh Allen is coming off an MVP season where he has 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in our 2 playoff games. I mean, this is kind of like a come on. And I have a feeling Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are going to try and set a pace that we will probably never trump again in a Madden 25 realistic rebuild. Holy. Shutout. 34-0. Jotting it down. 4 AFC East titles in 4 years. 3 Super Bowl wins, 2 back-to-back in 4 years. We still got 1 year left. And this one here, maybe the most dominant of them all. 34-0, a shutout. And finally, exercising the demons from the 90s where the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls and lost all 4. Some in brutal fashion. Winning has become the new norm. And at 34-0, MVP. Wow, 3 picks on Quinn Ewers. 2 touchdowns, Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 4. So this might be the first time he wins Super Bowl MVP. You gotta at least see what Rousseau did. Oh, a little bit quiet for Rousseau. Did get a half sack. We got 2 sacks at Oliver, 3 picks, Makuba, Henley, and Milano. But I think it's fairly safe to say, especially on top of the playoff run he had, Super Bowl MVP to go along with NFL MVP goes to Josh Allen, and we're ready to gear up and run it all back for the 5th and final year. To start the offseason, though, we get a little bit of bad news as Dion Dawkins goes out on top and retires after 11 years, so we're going to be in search of a new starting tackle. Our roster, well, Amari Cooper's regressed down to an old man, but I think we should be able to survive that. Keon Coleman, after his ridiculous season, is now up to a superstar X Factor. Pretty harsh regression across the board on the defensive side of the ball. Benford goes from normal to a star finally, but Clements, who just didn't play, regressed as a rookie X Factor all the way down to a star dev. So our squad going into the final year, I'm actually going to put him here because this guy's like maybe the most underrated. He's just like practice squad. Cam Scatabo. If you don't know anything about Scatabo at Arizona State right now in college football, he's the 2nd best running back in college football, not named Ashton Jeanty. You know what? Honestly, I may let him be our starter because I don't want to pay any money to running backs because running backs do nothing in our system anyways. And I want to show love to Scatabo. Theoretically, if there's a crazy running back in the first round, we could go running back. I feel good about our wide receiver room. I think we definitely need to consider, saving our money on the offense because Brown can definitely start at right tackle. We'll move Benton to left tackle to be the successor for Dion Dawkins. Interior looks good. So I guess running back, and then when you look at the defense, a linebacker is really all that's needed. And then other than that, just, is there luxury signing we could make with all of our money because we know we're only having to go one more year. Running back Ray Davis is probably the best option to sign long-term, and out of principle, not doing that. So we're going to go Scatabo. We're going to look at some members of the current in real-life rookie class that are now available free agents. We're going to throw an offer in on Worthy, but highly unlikely we're not even making the short list. But we are here for Jack Campbell at linebacker, 86, and we got Rakestraw, 84. Both, I believe Rakestraw, he's a line. So we're trying to poach away 2 Detroit Lions here on the defensive side of the ball. And we get 2 Detroit Lions on the defensive side of the ball to shore things up there and keep this defense playing at an elite level to win our 3rd straight Super Bowl, 4th in 5 years. And the last time we trusted letter grades, it worked out well. So we're going to go back to that well on a blind pick. It's a negative of picking at 32 all the time as your board gets shot. Leslie Burroughs at Oklahoma, 6'3", has A catching. Physicals are but you got A catching and A spec catch. A lot of blind pick, but A catching's usually, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good starting point. Try to get Xavier Worthy in free agency just to show off the wide receiver. Amari Cooper regressing. I'm going to take a blind swing, and look at that, Burroughs. 19 in true value at 32. Let's go. I think the rule of thumb of A's carries over. We have Javier Morgan. A carrying. Oh, we know what these guys look like. This guy's going to be a 74, 75 hidden dev. Call it. 26 in true value. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They exist. I'd say not as frequently, on average, as what we would see in Madden 24. They were pretty much every draft in Madden 24. I'd say 1 in 3, you'll be able to find this exact build of player in, like, the 3rd round. Every 3rd generation of generated Madden classes. Again, A grade stand out, especially when they're deep art running, especially when they run a 4-2-4 and have elites everything. We know what this guy is. 80 in true value. Thanks. Appreciate it. Rich get richer. All right, we just set our board. I want to sit to the end, and I guess the good thing now with his new Madden glitches, we're going to see all those guys' dev traits right away. I don't know how I feel about this, because there is a level of, like, I guess just tell me the dev traits right away. But I personally would side to where, like, I'm all right with the fog of war. So let's see. We got Leslie Burroughs, blind pick, star dev. We have Javier Morgan, 75. We know the build. I'm going to guess star dev. But this wide receiver, if I had to guess, and we're just guessing. This is live right from the end of the sim. I'm going to say superstar here on the Dardanelles. I play a lot of Madden. Yep. All right, so here is our squad as we look to make it 5 AFC East titles, 4 Super Bowls, and 5. It's just cheat code. Absolute cheat code. Offensively, I mean, you could make the argument that this team's not necessarily peaking at the right time, but still got playmakers, still got Amari Cooper kicking around, and Josh Allen's playing the best football of his career. Defensively, feel pretty good with where everything is at. You know, the depth traits of our players, but you know what? I actually just made a tweet talking about this, saying, I think there's a new bug. And I have people saying, this is good. They like this. They like the removal of fog of war. And you know what? Maybe this was a design choice, because you get the depth traits right away in college football 25. Like, hell, that's like part of what you do, right? Is you get your final recruiting class, and then you want to look through every single player and find out who got the depth traits. You find them out right away. There's no wait and sees. You know, maybe they're trying something. Maybe this wasn't a bug. Maybe this wasn't a glitch. This was done intentionally. But either way, defensively, I mean, this defense was outstanding, and we go out and add Rakestraw and Campbell poaching away from the Detroit Lions. Good luck stopping us. And we close out year 5, 12-5, so technically our worst record, but we have the #1 defense in the NFL. I don't know if I've ever actually had a defense that holds teams to 18 points, but we do know the Buffalo Bills defense is tried, tested, and true. 12-5 is surprisingly good enough to get you the 1 seed. But we were able to do a clean sweep and pull a New England Patriots and dominate the AFC East, winning it all 5 seasons of the rebuild. And Josh Allen aging like a fine wine. 2nd in the league in yards, top 5 in passing touchdowns, and the interceptions are just cut down. He's also our leading rusher, and that's why you never pay a running back here in Buffalo. There's a tip and trick you can learn if you ever go rebuild the Bills. Just never pay James Cook. Never pay Ray Davis. If you're simming. If you're playing, hell, even if you're playing, don't do it. Receiving, we got ageless performance from Amari Cooper in the slot. He's what, 79 overall, 78 overall? And he puts up, I played him in the slot before, and he never had this kind of year. But shout out to Amari Cooper, 1,300 yards, 21 touchdowns. Not quite the 31 that we hit with Devontae Adams in our last Jets rebuild, but still pretty good. Keelan goes over 1,000. Johnson goes over 1,000. Decent year from Kincaid. Defensively, Henley, tackle machine. 13.5 sacks. Russo, 8 from Turner. 5 from Oliver. 4 for Clemens. And the interception numbers, probably the worst of the rebuild. Honestly, I mean, box score stats don't necessarily equate, defense ranking and points allowed, but box score numbers not as great as I would thought for a team that might be our best defense ever. Ooh, another runner-up for MVP for Josh Allen. And as always, recapping what we've accomplished within the 5 years. Josh Allen is sitting at 45,000 yards passing, 365 touchdowns, to 114 interceptions. He also has 6,500 yards rushing to go along with 85 total touchdowns, and an MVP, and a Super Bowl MVP, and 3 Super Bowls. On pace to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Him and Patrick, he's at least entered the discussion with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Receiving numbers, we got 15,000 total for Amari Cooper and 120 touchdowns, 5,500 yards, 51 touchdowns for Keon Coleman, 55 fries, 55 burgers, 55 tots. Killed it. Johnson was all right. Kincaid was all right. Defensively, Matt Milano, 800 tackles, almost 700 for Taron Johnson. We had 98.5 sacks on 107 TFLs from Greg Russo, 67.5 for Ed Oliver. Big time numbers. 23 picks Milano, 14 for Johnson, 12 from Benford as our homegrown players. But we had no yearly award winners this year, which again is very surprising when you're in the 1 seed. But we get a great rivalry matchup here in the divisional round against the 11-6 New York Jets, who can run the football well and can stop the other team from running the football well. Luckily, we do not run the football. Our running back is our, are you kidding me? Is our quarterback. And the dynasty ends with a whimper in the divisional round. 4-point loss to the 6-seed Jets, 24-20. Andy Campbell, what is how we crash and burn? I mean, we just kind of go to show you don't need a run game in Madden at all. Benford with a pick there. We built a dynasty with literally our quarterback being our best running back. I've never actually seen a sim like that. Very, very unique numbers, unique performances. The defense was awesome. But when you lose games like that, when we lost year one, the years that we didn't win, it's almost like, oh yeah, well, if we had a run game, maybe we would have won because you have 38 yards rushing in your losses. And that is an obvious weakness. But ultimately, and how awesome that Amari Cooper kind of finishes on a high note here, the situation that has now happened in real life after the Bills were very aggressive going out and getting Amari Cooper in a trade with the Cleveland Browns a couple days ago, maybe, just maybe, it could be the tipping point here to get a non-diva wide receiver. Amari Cooper is like the furthest thing from Stephon Diggs. Maybe that is the partner and relationship that Josh Allen needs to build with a wide receiver one. And maybe they'll take some pressure off Keon Coleman so Keon Coleman can go out and perform like he did for us here today. And you, maybe, will see 5 straight AFC East titles for the Bills. 3 Super Bowls. A pace that we might not ever break in realistic rebuilds from here on out, but one that I'm happy that we were able to do. So that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button as we're getting very close to 175,000 subscribers here on the channel. Please let me know in the comment section below which rebuild you guys want to see next, be it in Madden or College Football 25. Been slacking a little bit on the College Football 25 rebuilds. Trust me, I want to play that game more than anything right now, but had to go with the more topical, and I just kind of wanted to all see, what's Devontae's situation with the Jets going to look like? What's Amari Cooper going to look like with the Buffalo Bills? But more rebuilds coming on the way. Plus, there was such a big patch update in October for Madden 25. Maybe we dip our toes back in Vikings franchise, assuming that they fix the gameplay a little bit, and it's not literally the worst thing I've ever played, but that is, you got to wait to see that and test that out to be 100% sure before I recommit. But ultimately, that'll do for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.